Don't buy a list in the surplus funds industry, and here's 5 reasons why. Let's talk about it. What's good, Savvy Investors? It's your Savvy Investor Dex here, back with another banger. I know I've been gone a while, but we back. Life was lifing. Things didn't just go bad. Just a whole lot of stuff started happening at the same time, and it took a lot of time from me. But now I'm back, and now we can all learn again. And let's cheat. Anyway, don't buy a list starting out in the surplus funds business. I wrote down 5 reasons why, so let me get right to it. Reason number 1 being, a list isn't the same as getting a lead. That's low-key a surplus funds bar. A list isn't the same as getting a lead. You can get a list with 200 names, 200 addresses, 200 surpluses. You might find 10 leads on there, 20 leads on there, if you're doing proper research. And the reason being you shouldn't buy a list is likely you don't know how to do research, especially if you're new in this business. So don't start out buying a list, guys. Next point. You need to know where that list came from. And you know how I know you don't know where that list came from? It's because you don't know how to do research. If you're getting a list from a non-judicial state, that means whoever providing that list, they have access to the attorneys that hold the auctions in those states. Because non-judicial states, they aren't held by the courthouse. The foreclosures are held by a third-party attorney company. Hence why they say non-judicial. They don't have to go through the formal judicial process of a foreclosure. So you need to know this going in and understand where their list came from by reaching out to that county or calling, trying to find foreclosures and reaching out to the biggest attorneys around there that hold these foreclosures. But you probably don't know how to do that because you just started. Don't buy a list. Next point. 100K surplus, guys, is not always 100K surplus. So you can have a list that has 25 of them that's $150,000 or better. I can almost guarantee you might get 5 of those that's over 100,000. Just because there's a lot of things that happen that those lists that were created can't account for. That's why this is a very tricky business, building a list. First thing first, the money could be gone. Somebody else could have gotten it. Maybe they recovered it. Maybe somebody else reached out to them before you. Maybe the person that bought this list before you got them, but this lead still came on the list. Right? That's very, very, very possible. Maybe there's liens. Maybe there's extra people owed. Meaning you thought it was 2 claimants and maybe it's 3 claimants. Now you're only able to collect, roughly 66% of it. Because if there's a 3rd claimant owed and there's $100,000, you can't get the whole $100,000. So there's plenty of reasons why 100K isn't always 100K, but the biggest reason is when it comes to buying a list, it's probably because someone else got them, if the money was actually there. Next point. Being new, you definitely shouldn't buy a list because you need to learn how to build a list. And to learn how to build a list forces you to learn the ins and outs of whatever county or parishes that you're working. It forces you to understand the laws or what laws you should look for in each county, each parish. Some places have a 3-year excheatment period. Some places have a 5-year excheatment period. And that's when the county or the state takes the funds. You need to know if the funds have been taken by the county or by the state or whomever, where did those funds go? Because a lot of times those funds don't disappear. We confuse it with the state taking the money. Not that some states don't take the money, literally. But a lot of times the money would go from the county's registry to the state's registry. So the county would write a letter, send them over the check, say, hey, listen, you guys deal with just make it part of your unclaimed funds. So it just went from being a mortgage overage. It's still a mortgage overage, but now it's being held by the state. So you'd only find that on a state funds list. You need to understand all of that when it comes to buying a list, so you don't waste your money and your time. Last but definitely not least, why you shouldn't build a list. Buy a list, I'm sorry. And I'm just gonna build on what I just said. Research, guys. You need to understand what you're looking for. If you don't know what you're looking for, you can run into really, really, really bad things in this business. I've heard countless of times people would get a contract with potential claimants, tell these people there's 50 grand there, they agree to pay 30% if the funds are successfully recovered. They have to call those claimants and tell them, hey, there's no money there. Because they had no clue how to research. You bought this list, you got access to potential leads, but you don't know how to research the leads. So now you just call and you just burning and you just burning bad bridges and just setting a trail of destruction, guys. So I just wanted to come here real quick, drop that nugget. Don't buy a list. If you are interested in learning how to properly build a list, shoot me a DM, put a comment below. We can hop on a call, we can hop on a Zoom, and maybe my new course, REI 360, is a good fit for you, maybe not. But definitely don't go out here just buying lists. It's your Savvy Investor Dex, and I'm out.